Hi, Writing 100 students. The purpose of this meeting is for us to go to step two of the argumentative essay. I have done step one with you. Now we will look at step two. Okay. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can keep pace with the lesson. Um, So, step one that we did, and I'm going to recap that because that's important. So, step one was selecting a topic for the paper. Very important. You need to do this step first. Once you have finished up to number five and you've written a well-defined thesis statement, don't worry if it's not 100% correct yet. As long as you have a thesis statement that is either for or against, which is important, okay? And with two predictors, then you can move over to step two. Now, step two is finding the sources. And there are two things we're going to look at. Okay, this is also a Google form and it's helping you get through step two. Okay, so let me quickly share with you guys. I hope you can still see my screen. All right, so how do we select sources? The most important thing about selecting a source is making sure you follow the CRAB test. We did this before. So you should have an idea of what the CRAB test means. And once you understand that, it's easy for you to go look for your sources. Now, the first thing about a CRAB test is you need to find them. Where do you go? Where do you find the information? The first place is university library, but this is not going to be possible for you guys since we are online. So immediately just skip over to the next one, which is available sources online. So I would say available sources online, such as JSTOR and PubMed, are really, really good. The only problem with them is that sometimes they do not give you the full paper or you have to pay for it. So I know a lot of you may not go to JSTOR. And also, the research tends to be very high level academics, and it could take you a lot of time just getting through the language before actually selecting it. So, what I would suggest you guys do automatically skip to two and to three. These are the two that you will be focusing on. So once you have your topic, you know exactly what you're going to discuss, go to Google Scholar. Everybody has access to it. If you look at your Google search engine, you go to Google Scholar. Okay? I will show you how that actually works. Google Scholar is a free engine. It has access to everybody. All you need to do is type in your topic, whether you are for and against it, and it will give you all types of research that has been done on your topic. I bet you 99% of you guys will pick a topic that has already been researched, which is good. Okay. That means there's a lot of information for you. Google Scholar is great. It's free for everybody, and it also tells you how many times that article has been cited. So I would say start off with Google Scholar. Now, if you want to be a bit more creative, you said, I've used Google Scholar, I want to use something else. You go to number three over here, other online sources. Now, the key is to look at how they end in their domain, such as .edu. Those are all university and educational institutions. They only publish credited work. It's a great place to get a source that is credited and it has some sense of authorship, okay? The same with government domains. So government websites, and they are brilliant for mass data. So for example, if you want to find out how many people are actually unemployed at a particular age, government websites are good for that because they usually have census and they have mass data. And those census are often updated every 2 or 3 years. So whatever information you get is pretty recent, which is really, really good for a crap test. All right. Or .org domain. Those are organizations such as the UN, wildlife, climate change organizations, Humanitarian organizations. They are very good because they only publish information for the purpose of information, of giving information. They're not trying to sell you anything. They're not trying to change your opinion. So those websites are really good. Okay, so .org, .gov, .edu. And then you have also news sources. They are brilliant if your topic is about recent events, especially if your topic circulates around education, social media, politics, those type engineering such as climate change, cultural interactions. Those topics are always circulating. They're always updated. Check news sources for that. But be careful with news sources. Sometimes they do write the information to change your opinion. So read it carefully so that you make sure that it's more objective rather than subjective. Okay. So these are the search engines I would want you to go to: Google Scholar, online sources, and reputable news sources. Once you go to these websites and you start typing in, now you're going to start seeing tons of research. Look for the research that's closest, that addresses your topic. That's why I said to you, step one is so important. Once you have a topic, a definitive topic with two predictors, it's easy to find it because you just simply type that in and it will give you the research close related to that topic. Now, before you select them, you need to run them through the CRAP test. Remember, the CRAP test has 5 components. The first component is currency. Is the source up to date? When last was it published? If it's older than 5 years and you're talking about technology, I wouldn't go for that source. Okay. If it's talking about historical facts, it's okay. Or social sciences, it's okay if they go over 10 years because it's fine. Social sciences are fine. But if it's about recent things such as politics, climate change, engineering, things that continuously get updated, I would say do not go older than 5 or 6 years. So we are now in 2006, 2026. So your sources cannot be older than 2020, for example. Okay. All right. Relevance. Is the source relevant to your research? Does the information relate to your topic? Is it very close to your topic? Just because it talks about education, it doesn't mean it's close to your topic that's talking about online education. Be very careful of that, okay? Who is the audience for? Is it for other scholars? Is it for the general public? Who is this article written for? Authority. Where is the source published? That's why I said if you do well in this area, if you only search in Google Scholar and these other websites, it's easy to win the CRAB test when it comes to questions like authority. Who is the author? Because all of those websites often publish an author and they have an updated date, okay? Are they considered reputable and trustworthy? Government websites are reputable and they are trustworthy, and so are other journal articles, okay? All right. Does the organization have any credentials or has it any affiliation? Accuracy. Is the source supported by evidence? So when you read it, do they actually cite other research papers or are they just speaking? If they are just typing, that's probably, you know, an opinion. Be careful of that. Usually research sources cite other research, okay? Can you verify this information elsewhere? So be careful of accuracy. And the last one is the purpose. What is the motive behind these sources? That's why I say again, I will go back up again. If you do well in 2 and 3, you will automatically win 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? Because those websites, they publish for information, they publish for education, they publish for the betterment of society, okay? Medicine, science, engineering. They do not have an opinion. It's not about opinion. But if you go to blogs, okay, and sources that are very irrelevant or social media platforms or magazines, you need to be careful because you probably will not win the crap test if the purpose is for entertainment, okay? We're not looking at entertainment purposes. All right. So once you have your sources, Okay, you have an idea of what you want to use and it's relevant to your research. I want to see what you have done. It's important for me to verify that, okay, and to help you along. So you go to Moodle, where I've added the link for week one, so writing 100 week seven, step two, selecting sources, and you complete this form. Okay. The first step is write down your narrowed topic. State whether you are for or against it. Where will you get this topic? When you have done step one. This is step one. Once you've done your topics and everything, then you go to step two. All right. So if you see here, you need to first write down your topic because now it's going to help you also determine whether your sources are relevant or not. Okay. Once you've written down your topic, you go to 1.1, name your first source, write the title, the author, and the date of publish. That's what you do. In that way, you can see for yourself whether the source has passed one or two in the CRAP test, okay? Then the next step is the CRAP test. Check the source via the CRAP test. You need to check, all right? Currency, is the source up to date? Is it relevant? What is the authorship? Is it accurate? What is the purpose of this source? If it's a checklist and you say it's relevant to my research, it's very accurate because it's research, it's database driven. It is written by an author, he's a doctor. It's very related to my research because my research is talking about online learning for young kids. This source is also talking about online learning for young kids. Okay. Is this the source is written in the last time it was published was in 2022. That is good. So you check it off. All right. Then it asks you another question. Does it pass at least four out of the five categories? Read, there is the categories over here. How many were you able to check? If it's four, yes. If it's no, say no. Then that means you need to go look for a new source. If you're not sure, you press maybe. Okay? And I review it. Then add the link to that source because I want to see it. You copy and paste the link to the source. Okay? Then you do it for source number two. Exactly the same thing. How does it first you state the source, right? The title, the author, the date of publication. Then you checklist the source via the CRAP test. Then it asks you, does it pass at least four out of the five categories? And then you add the link. And then in that way, me as your teacher, I have access to it. And you also have now your sources. Not only you have your topic, but you also have now sources. The next step will be to start writing. It's as simple as that. These two steps are very difficult because you have to kind of sit down and think. But once you actually follow them, pick a topic, pick the controlling idea, find two reasons, it's easier to do step two. Now, I promised you one thing. I said I will show you guys how to do um, Google Scholar. Okay, so I will open up my browser. Okay. So here we have it. You can easily just type here, Google Scholar. Okay. There you go. And it pushes it out here. This is Google Scholar. You click on it. Okay. Give it a bit of time. My internet is really slow. There you go. Now you are in Google Scholar. Okay. And it asks you, do you want to do case law? No, we're not looking at law. We're looking at all articles. Okay. Now you type in, for example, my topic is um, online learning can harm language development for teenagers. For example, let's say that is my topic. As you can see, my topic is very narrowed. Online learning is part of education. I narrowed it down, okay? Can harm language development for teenagers. Okay. Again, it's narrowed because I'm talking about teenagers specifically. Then you press click. See what comes up? Tons of sources. Okay. The first one, the impact of online learning and technology on students' physical, mental, and emotional health. It's not talking about language development, so I won't go to that. All right. Online communication and adolescent relationship. Maybe it's talking about language. The impact of online learning among adolescents during COVID. It's too broad, okay? How differences in exposure of affecting English language learning, maybe, and it's talking about teenagers, all right? Detecting offensive language, no. Detecting, no, doesn't work. Next one. Effects of e-learning on language learning. Yes, this one works because it relates to my topic of online language and language development, okay? You click on it, there's your source. This is a journal article, okay? This is a journal article, and as you can see, it has the title and it has the authors, Nida, Vahid, and Farida. Okay, brilliant. The only problem with this source is that it was written, if I'm not mistaken, in 2011. That is way too old. We cannot use the source anymore. All right? Try to find other sources that are more relevant. So let's do one more search. Right. Let's do something like social media. I'm going to try and find something that's much more social media has a negative effect on mental health in young people. Let's make it people, right? There you go. So there's lots of things you can find here, but be careful. Here you have a source published in 2011. No. Here you have a source published in 2023. Yes. Impact of social media on mental health of adolescent and young adults. Perfect. Let's click on this source. There it is. It's got the title. So you type the title in there with the different authors. Okay. And look at, I want to see here if I can find the the date because my screen is blocking it off here. There you go. Here, the date is over here. Okay? It was published in 2023, all right? Where was it published? In Cirrus. Cirrus is a reputable educational journal, so it's good, all right? There's an abstract that you can read, and then you're able to determine whether this information is credited. So let's look at another thing about this source. Let's go. Does it actually, let's go. Does it cite other information? Yes, it does. For example, here it's using the Vancouver method, by the way. So it is citing other, as you can see here, it's citing other sources. There you go. Yep. All right. Is it reputable? Yes, it is reputable. And how relevant is it towards your research? Yes, if mine is about impact of social media on mental health, it's very relevant because it's directly addressing my um my topic, all right, and my predictors. That's it. So those are the two things that you have to do this week. One, pick your topic, all right? Step one, you have to pick your topic. I don't know how to get rid of this thing. All right. And once you've picked your topic, then you can go to step two, which is, sorry, step one, pick your topic. Then you go to step two, which is to complete the crab test over here. and then you are done for the week. The deadline is April 12th, and this should be good. I'm going to try and have an online live session with you guys, just so that we can meet up and see each other. And if you have any questions, I can answer that. Take care.